Well, it's the first weekend of February, and welcome to the Q1 Buck Poll. I am Tim Hart with Mike Big Buck Hoffner. On today's show, we've got stories from all around the state. And you know, Mike, we've had our parties. We've got more coming up. February the 9th, we'll be in Jackson at the Hunt Club. And then we've got parties on the 18th and 19th, first at Birch Run Expo Center. And then we're going to be at the Field and Stream Deer and Turkey Spectacular. So a lot of things going on, and we like to see people come to the regional parties.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a strange January and February. Weather has been warm. You're usually talking about ice fishing, but I'll tell you what, deer hunting's on the brain.
Yes. We've got a lot of prizes we're giving away at the regional parties. Again, go online to q1buckpoll.com and you can find out where the parties are in your area. A reminder, everybody is invited, also your friends and guests, to the March 3rd Soaring Eagle final party, because we've got all kinds of prizes. They're given away randomly, and it's going to be a great night. Stay with us. We've got all kinds of stories coming up. When we come back, you're watching the Q1 Buck Poll.
Q1 Buck Poll, Michigan's biggest and best buck poll contest. Brought to you by these sponsors who support Michigan's great outdoors.
One of the prizes we're giving away at the final party of the Q1 Buck Poll, and that is this 50 caliber CVA Optima with a scope and a case. And you know, Mike, we've got about 4 or 5 to give away at the final party.
Yeah, we've got crossbows, we've got safety harnesses, we've got tree stands, we got it all.
Let's take a look at some of the bucks that are entered in the Q1 Buck Poll.
Let's start out with Paul Jones from Mellendale with a 13-point buck. His score was 55. Bart Mauk from Battle Creek with a 12-pointer. The score 48.5. And Michael Piper with a 14-pointer from Eaton Rapids. His score was 49.5. Our South Central Regional Party was held at the Eagles Hall in Coldwater, and that encompassed the Branch, St. Joe, and Hillsdale County areas. And Mike, again, a lot of people showed up. Over 200 people were there. We had a lot of stories, and one of the stories is from somebody that works at your place. Yeah, you know what? It was kind of like a homecoming. It is our homecoming, Tim. We knew everybody in Dodge that was there that day. We had former students. I ran into people I haven't seen in 30 years, and so great stories and great people.
Troy shot an 8-pointer, 15 1/4 inch spread, 7.5 inches of mass, 7.5 inch longest tine, 38 1/4. He shot one of them with a bow. What'd you shoot the other one with?
Muzzleloader.
All right, so let's talk about the biggest one.
The 10-pointer, actually 11-pointer. He's got a little sticker there, but that one there, actually, I went out early in the morning and just barely breaking daylight. And I seen a couple does coming out of the woods, so I thought, well, I'm going to take me a doe. Well, just so happened to be, I looked over to my left, and right by a pine tree about 100 yards away, there he stood. And before I got my muzzleloader up to shoot, he ran right towards them does. And so, 175 yards away, aimed at him, took the shot. He ran about 50 yards or so and dropped dead.
All right, well, a heck of a shot at that kind of range. Nice shot with a muzzleloader. First time out with a muzzleloader, have you shot with it before?
Oh, I've shot with him before.
All right, and how about, real quick, the other deer?
The other deer, actually, I went out in the morning during bow season. Got out there, actually missed work that day. Sorry.
Oh, really? Called in sick, did we?
I don't want to hear it.
You know, I've heard Greg Harrell does that in Quincy, too. Oh, just kidding you, Greg. All right, so you were very, very sick and couldn't work. He did not want to breathe on the students in the welding. All right, and then what?
So I got out there early in the morning. Nothing was going on. About 9 o'clock rolled around. I decided I was going to, you know, little black calls, you know, latent heat call type thing. So I decided I was going to dump that a few times. I dumped her a few times, and here he come. About 20 yards away or so, he ran probably 40 yards and fell over dead.
Good night. 2 bucks. And how many did you get? Oh, you didn't get any. Congratulations to Troy Setzer. Good job.
So I went to this standing cornfield, and I just walked the edge. And I saw a deer track, and I went in, real slow and easy, watched the tracks. Oh, there's a doe. All right, back out. And I just went around the cornfield. And man, it was pretty cool. 8 different deer I could have killed, and I just let them go. And the one time I went in, and the deer stands up right in front of me. It's a doe, so I kind of pulled my gun down, and I didn't realize I was in the middle of like 10 does. Man, when they took off, it was like a herd of elephants taking off through the corn. So then I was on like the third side of the field, and I see this big track with a dew claw. So I was like, man, this is probably going to be a buck. And I only went in like 20 yards. He stood up real slow in front of me, and I just let him have it. But the thing about it is when I got up to him when he was dead, he had a broad head in his shoulder, and somebody had shot him right above one of his legs. But man, when he took off, you wouldn't have known there was anything wrong.
So you killed the crippled deer is what you're telling us.
Yeah. But you wouldn't have known, though.
Oh, you would not have known.
But
Are you sure it wasn't your daughter with the crossbow that shot it and wounded it for her dad?
Hey, you wouldn't know. You would not know.
I like to ambush hunt. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
But when you go in and you have a plan to go in and get a deer and you pull it off, and it's just most awesome. When you stalk one and you know you're gonna get them up and you pull it off, it's awesome.
Now let me ask you: had you seen that deer before with trail cams?
I actually saw him like a quarter-mile away chasing does during bow season, and I thought I was gonna get a shot at him, and the doe took him away from me. So that was another thing. When I took him out, I was like, ah, there you are.
A revengeful hunter here today. All right. Again, congratulations, Tracy. Thanks for being up here with us, buddy. All right. So Brenton shot an 11-pointer with a 15-inch spread, 11.5 inches of mass, 9-inch longest tine, total score 46.5 with a shotgun out of 3 rivers. And that put him in 47th place. That is a good-looking deer there. And Brenton, tell me a little bit about your hunt.
Well, about a month or two before season, we found out we don't lease the property we have been leasing. We didn't know until we called. So we basically fell into this one, and it was amazing. Awesome property.
Was it near the property that you just lost?
Nope. No, it's the same town, way away from it though. Went out there, this buck actually gave me the slip about 3 or 4 different times. I switched it up, try to give it a little pressure off the spot. I checked the cameras. Every time I check it, he was there during daylight. He knew that I wasn't there. Opening day of gun season, he was following a doe. I heard a shot, and I heard some deer run over there, and he stayed right there, but I could see the reflection in the water, that there was a deer standing there, and I knew it had to be a buck. And then I heard that grunt deep. I knew it wasn't a young one. So I got up. He got kind of antsy because my boot squeaked. So I knew it was then, but he's gone. I shot about 25 yards, went. He actually died right in front of my other tree stand. It's definitely the biggest buck I've ever shot. Yeah.
How long have you been out there hunting?
I actually, this season, I hunted more than I've ever hunted. From opening day of bow season till opening day of gun season, I only missed 3 days. So, I mean, I hunted hard for him, finally got him. There's some other ones out that we were chasing, just didn't get as lucky. I had chances at him, but it was just too dark. I didn't want to chance it, so let him go. But, yeah, it's a great deer.
Well, you can see all of the bucks online at q1buckpole.com. We'll have these stories as part of our shows. You can go to the top, click on TV show, and watch the latest episode, or go back and catch any of the episodes. You know, Mike, we've got a lot of information out there from the DNR. They were a great promotional partner this year. Great information and education segments. You can see them on q1buckpole.com, but you can also go to the DNR's website, click on the media, and see them over there.
You can always learn. I mean, learning is part of the process of learning to do good deer hunting, and we really appreciate their support.
We've got more coming up. Stay with us. You're watching the Q1 Buck Poll. Time now to talk about giving yourself the best chance when you're out in the woods. We only have so much time to be out there hunting. Well, you want to make sure that your scent is controlled. Jim Lombardi with us here from Buck Fever Synthetics. And Jim, one of the things we want to talk about today, Vanishing Hunter. And there's a lot of different products out in the market, but one of the things about something like this is spray it, clothes, body, face, mouth, everything, because a deer, they can smell a lot of different scents out there.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're not taking care of 100% of it, then why just take care of 5% of it? I'm not going to just spray my boots. I want to take care of my breath. Your breath is 70% of your odor. It's, first of all, body temperature, right? And second of all, it's moist. So when you're breathing that air, there's actually moisture going in the air. You see it in the morning, right, when you're hunting? Well, that moisture carries. This product actually prevents the bacteria that's in your mouth, number one. But the biggest thing is it actually takes you and turns you to a prey animal. Sounds crazy. Why does it do that? Do you eat meat?
Yes, I do.
You eat deer meat.
Oh, yeah.
I love deer meat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I love it all. When you eat meat, amino acids come through your skin, okay? And that is what tells any prey animal or any animal at all that you're a predator, okay? By neutralizing the lactic acid that's in your skin, you just turned into another deer.
Well, Jim, like we've talked about, you know, you're really trying to give yourself the best chance when you're out in the woods, and scent control of your body, of your clothes, of your equipment is one of the best ways, isn't it?
It should be your priority. It really should. I mean, if you're a smoker and you don't care and you just play the wind, then do that. But if you want a deer to come from any direction, then you need to start with scent control.
All right. Jim Lombardi from Buck Fever Synthetics. I'm Tim Hart. You're watching the Q1 Buck Poll. Back here on the Q1 Buck Poll, again, Tim Hart and Mike Big Buck Hoffner. Well, we're in February right now, and you know, Mike, a lot of people, well, I'm kind of done with deer hunting, but not really. Because now is the time to see all of the mounts. And at our Soaring Eagle Party March 3rd, we're going to have buckboards up so you'll be able to display your rack, display your mount, and it's going to be a great time.
You know, there's no such thing as the off season because they've got so many activities going on, so many sporting shows that you can go and participate in. And like I'm telling you, go to every one of those, there's deer all over the place, so it never stops.
The Michigan Deer and Turkey Spectacular has been renamed to the Field and Stream Deer and Turkey Spectacular. We'll be there on the 19th, but that goes all weekend long at the Lansing Center, and that is February the 17th through the 19th. And with that, they're going to have big bucks there. Big Buck Hoffner, let's see some more.
All right, we've got big bucks here too. Let's start out with Robert Holfacker with a 9-pointer from Gobles, Michigan, with a score of 46 3/4. Nick Lewis's 14-point buck from Stanton, his score was 51.38. And Anthony Frazier with a 10-pointer from St. Charles, the score 53.13. Some awesome bucks.
Recently, we had our party for the Grand Rapids area, Region 5, and that was held at the Deltaplex during the Huntin' Time Expo. And we had some great stories. One of the stories comes to us from a dad who takes his daughter out. And you know, Mike, it's so important to get the kids out in the woods.
You know, we have seen an increased, amount of time that families are spending together in deer hunting. I go back to when we first started the show, we hardly talked about the family element, but boy, it's been a growing interest and more kids are going to the woods, and I think that's great for deer hunting.
Here's one of our hunters, David Wise, with his daughter.
All right, Mr. David, tell me about your hunt this year.
Well, it's October 29th in Ione County. God bless my friend that he can't hunt very often, so we got to hunt in the pouring rain. He said, oh, don't worry, around 9 o'clock it's going to stop. No. Never did. It was pouring down rain. I'd never seen a deer in the rain in my life since I've been hunting. So I started getting out the grunt tube and started just wailing on that sucker. And about the third time, every half hour I waited, he came pounding down the hill. I'd seen him probably about 50 yards away flying down the hill, and I was already at full draw. And he came right to the was to the left of me and gave me a broadside shot, and I matted at him, and he looked at me, and I knew he wasn't looking at my good looks, so I pulled the trigger.
Hang on, honey. Was it looking at his good looks? Oh, she thinks it was.
And he went about 200 yards, and I was about down at the bottom of my stand when I called my buddy, and I said, I just shot one. He's like, oh, wait a minute, don't go and chase him yet. I was like, oh, I've never tracked one in the rain. He's like, don't worry. He says, blood's thicker than water. And he was right. I got down on the ground, and I started, got a little bit of toilet paper on my hand. And I started hitting the ground where I had seen him last, and I got blood, started dropping toilet paper. And the first 50 yards was probably an hour. And then after that, the floodgates were wide open. There he was, and it's the biggest buck I've ever shot with a bow.
My daughter was actually sitting with me. She's 14, and I wasn't paying attention, of course, and she seen that deer come out. Well, the doe come out first, and she says, Dad, there's a deer down the hill. What was
now, were you in a blind?
Yes.
Okay.
And she says, there's a deer down there. When I looked down over the hill, I said, I don't see no deer. Well, it's standing there. I said, well, shoot it then. And she get her gun up and looks down through the scope. She stops for a second, takes a deep breath. I'm waiting for her gun to go off. And she kind of turns her head a little bit and looks back at me and says, "There's another deer down there." I said, "There ain't no deer down there." "Yeah, there is, Dad. It's a big buck." I said, "There ain't no buck down there." "Yes, there is." I said, "Well, shoot it." I never picked my rifle up. Then she got back in the scope and was looking at the deer through the scope, and she started shaking. And I told her 4 more times to shoot the deer. She couldn't do it. Well, she brought the gun back in the window. I wasn't going to let him go away, so I decided I better knock him over.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, a kid eats a portion of their plate at dinner, and next thing you know, Dad finishes it off. Kind of the same type of thing. So you dropped the deer. Now, is this one of the biggest deer you ever got?
Yeah, it's the biggest one. I got one at home. It's a little bit smaller than that. Not much.
Now, have you hunted the same area? And obviously you were hunting in a blind, right?
Yeah, for 11 years I've hunted the same spot. And that deer, actually, I bow hunt about a mile from where I rifle hunt. And I seen him there for 3 weeks. But he never came down to where I rifle hunt until that night, I guess, because I seen him the day before opening day.
Well, it's pretty lucky you had your daughter, though, to see him at first, right?
Yeah, it was foggy. I didn't see him.
What about the other deer? Obviously, it took off.
Yeah, the doe ran away. She never got a shot at it, but my sister shot at it and missed on the other end of the field.
How many people in your family hunt?
All of them.
Which is?
19.
19 hunters from the Morley area, and again, really, truly a family tradition. So is it something that, whether you guys are successful or not, though, it gives you something to talk about throughout the, you know, throughout the fall time and winter?
Well, half of them, they know who they are. They'll lie about most of it, but yeah, we talk about it quite a bit. I have 5 kids, and 4 of them that live at home, and they all love to hunt.
All right.
They have beagles, and we go coon hunting and all sorts of stuff.
All right, well, congratulations to the Davey family. Thank you for being with us here tonight.
Coming up, we've got more stories from our hunters down south. Stay with us. You're watching the Q1 Buck Poll. See all the bucks online at q1buckpoll.com. We've got a special offer for you online. You can click on lastminutehuntingandfishing.com. We've got the icon at the bottom of the page. We've got the links at the top of the page on q1buckpoll.com. And you have a chance to win a whitetail hunt in Saskatchewan. And I tell you right now, what a fabulous hunt it's going to be.
Yeah, probably a great time of the year to hunt, because I'll tell you, it's been a mild winter. Let's hope for a mild winter next year, because it can be awful cold in Saskatchewan.
Go online, q1buckpoll.com, and then click on the lastminutehuntingandfishing.com and get yourself registered. It's free. We're giving the trip away March 3rd at the Soaring Eagle. And with that, we're going to have a lot of bucks at the Soaring Eagle, and we got a lot of bucks on today's show.
All right, Tim, let's start right out with Terry Burns Jr. from Jasper, Michigan with a 10-point buck. His score was 46.5. Carl Welch from Brown City with an 11-pointer. His score was 49.5. Dennis Haley from Vassar, Michigan with an 8-point buck to score 42.5. And Tiffany Keene from Grand Blanc with a 9-pointer. Her score was 51.
Well, we now have stories from our party that was held in Coldwater at the Eagles Hall. One of the stories, the buck green scored 196 and an 1/8.
Yeah, we saw some fabulous bucks. I mean, the southern belt of Michigan produces some dandy bucks, and this is certainly one of them.
I was only up for about a half hour. I thought I heard a buck grunting, and so I didn't see anything, so I got my can call out, hit it a few times, and then I looked back in the field, and I could see a couple does out there, and it was 10 minutes later, he came walking in. It's a real thick power line where I was hunting, and he came in and he just stood there for I don't know how long, but all I had was a headshot, and I didn't want to take that. He rubbed on some stuff, and then he turned around and started walking away. I thought, oh man, what do I do? Bleed, grunt, what do I do? And he just stopped and stood there a while, and then he turned and came walking right down into me, stopped 50 yards broadside. I pulled up my night muzzle loader and put it right behind the shoulder and pulled the trigger, and all there was a click.
And you went, oh, darn.
So he went in some thick stuff there, and I pulled the bolt back, and I noticed I had the screw turned in a couple turns. So I got that turned back out, and he came walking in about 30 yards, and I just pulled up the gun, and I said, Lord, please let it go off this time. Pulled the trigger, and I could see the shot was good right off the bat. He only ran about 25 yards and stood right next to the river, and he fell over and just about went in the river. And I was out by myself, forgot my cell phone and everything, so I ran it back up to the house and drove over to my brother's who lives close by, and he called my son-in-law, and they all came out, and we got the four-wheeler, and and brought him back in, but it was an exciting hunt.
Did you have it scored?
Yeah, I had it green scored that night. My taxidermist came down, and he green scored at 196 and an eighth. Gross, yeah.
Wow, 196 and an eighth, green score, congratulations. One of the things I like most about the Q1 Buck Poll is having a chance to meet all the hunters. You see their success and you hear their stories. And, you know, a lot of times there's family stories that go with us, like we talked about earlier, Mike. We had one gentleman who talked about how his dad built the crossbow 25 or 30 years ago, and he shot a buck with it this year, and Dad couldn't be there. And, you know, sometimes it's really emotional. And we do appreciate everybody showing up to the regional parties. And we're going to use these stories at the final party, March 3rd, where everybody is invited to the Soaring Eagle.
I'll tell you what, there's tremendous bonding that goes on in the sport of deer hunting. And I think, like I said, the people we've run into, we've seen nothing but the best come out of them.
Special thanks again to a lot of our different sponsors out there, Buck Fever Synthetics USA, CVA. We've had a lot of help from Dart and Archery over the years. They've got some great crossbows and bows and, you know, just a variety of people. The Soaring Eagle, Greenstone Farm Credit Services. I know they're all coming up in the credit, but I want to make sure that we personally mention a lot of the sponsors that help us. Auto Value, Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts Stores. The one guy came to the party in Coldwater and said, "This is fabulous. I don't hunt, but what a great night." Mike, we're going to have stories coming up from all of our parties in our upcoming episodes.
Well, you know, they make it possible for us to do what we love to do, and that's deer hunting. So get out there and support those sponsors.
For Mike Big Buck Hoffner, I'm Tim Hart. Remember, whenever you're out in the woods, be safe. Thanks for watching this week's edition of the Q1 Buck Poll.
For the latest on Michigan hunting, pick up the current edition of Woods and Water News, Michigan's premier outdoor publication, available on newsstands or by subscription. Woods and Water News, proud sponsor of the Q1 Buck Poll.
You ready?
You have the fun.
Oh man, how you? T.
I'm tired today, Tim.
You looking tired?
I'm really tired.
He's tired, folks.
Well, I know, but I didn't know
that. Oh, I know, but I didn't know that.
Okay.
How come you didn't know that?
Well, because I know it now.
Oh, we're going to close this one segment, all right?
Let's do it.
Okay. He started to say something, I was going to punch him right in the head with the barrel. Right to the nose.
Okay, I'm ready. Put me in, Coach.
He's getting put in, folks. Yes?
I can't sit on this bench much longer.
Which position would you like to play?
I like to play power forward.